So the first thing I've done in this case, if you are taking the crank arm off to change it for another one, take your pedal off before you take the crank arm off the bike, because with the crank arm off the bike, unless you've got a vice or something to clamp it in, you can't put any force against the pedal to remove it. So that's done out the way first. Remove the little plastic cap, if there is one, from the centre there. Put your ratchet on. Undo. This one's nice and loose. Undo the bolt. Or the nut in this case. There we go. There's the nut. Now this nut has, you can see there, I don't know, a built-in washer. Now sometimes the washer is separate and it will stay inside there and prevent the tool from working properly, so it's worth checking to make sure that there's no washer left inside there once you've taken that nut or bolt out. So assuming there's no washer in there, you take your bottom bracket tool, which looks like this, and you thread this threaded part into the threads on the inside of the crank arm. Now slowly, just make sure the threads sit nice and square. See, it's catching a little bit there, so never force it, just back it out and try again. So wind this out and into the crank arm. There we go. Felt that click into place. I can feel now those threads are moving nice and easy. Look, there's no resistance at all. If there is resistance, you would risk damaging the threads in the crank. So you crank that all the way up, give it a bit of a snug. Then you turn the handle of your crank tool, it pushes against the centre of the mount there in the crank, and you'll start to feel the crank pull away. This one came off lovely. Sometimes they can be a nightmare. It can be a big pry bar job, but in this case that's come off lovely. So that tool has wound itself into the arm there. Hopefully you can see that. I'll just unwind the tool. So what you've done is you've wound that part of the tool into the crank arm, and then this inner part has pushed against here and pulled the crank arm away from the bike. And that's basically it. That's how you take off a square taper crank arm. The non-drive side would be done in the same way.